Welcome to the Deeper Love Podcast. This is the Deeper One checking in today, bringing you another episode of the podcast. Today we are going to be talking about the hard truths. This is the fourth installment of the series. Woo, boy, the last few have been hurt some feelings. But we had some good conversation though. And we gonna jump right into this right now. So, the last few episodes we have gone over sexual market value. We have gone over going 50-50. Should women go 50-50? And we also covered, how am I not even paying attention? I be having too much going on, y'all. Too much going on. Oh, you are not a good return on investment. Now this last one, you are not a good return on investment. Really touched a few people, hurt some feelings. But, sometimes we need our feelings hurt. We need to accept some hard truths about ourselves and what we're doing and what we believe. And if you have not heard that episode, I encourage you to go and check it out because it's fairly enlightening, to be honest with you. It's very, very enlightening. So go check it out. So today what I wanted to talk about in the podcast is I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, listening to a lot of people on YouTube. And over the last few weeks, I have really been getting into Kevin Samuels, Jason Black, Coach Greg Adams, few guys that are kind of, they're kind of sort of, you got one guy that's pretty red pill. You got another guy that's MGTOW, but you got, another guy that's not really that at all, So, before I just jump on board, on somebody's shit, I like to listen to what everyone has to say about a particular subject, because perspective is really different. Perspective what counts, right? So, I want to get a good perspective. So then I can share with you what I've learned and put my spin on things. And I'm not going to lie. I haven't learned anything new, but what I have learned has been a reinforcement from lessons I've learned from the past in dating and dealing with women. And these reinforced those things. And as someone whose audience is 77% women, I can't just come out and say some of the things that really need to be said without reviewing them first and softening the message. Because people can be offended fairly quickly or become defensive fairly quickly, and I do not want to alienate my audience. So I play it cool. I play it cool on a lot of things. But in my last few IG lives that I've done and episodes, we've really talked about the sexual market value, and we've talked about the high value man and things like that. Now, everybody, a few people have their own meanings for, we'll say, high value men. Okay, Kevin Samuels has a different one. Jason Black has a different one. Coach Greg Adams has a different one. And I'm not going to say that there is a particular one that's right. But I'm going to give you what I feel us as regular people, us regular folk, not rich people, not the kind of people Kevin Samuels talk about, not these people, just regular people. And regular dudes, just regular dudes that's got jobs, that's taking care of business, that's motivated, that's out doing their thing, working on them trying to be a better person. Those are the ones we trying to talk about today. And what I'm learning and what I'm seeing is there a lot of y'all are asking for more than what you have to give. And in addition to that, a lot of ladies, you don't know what the man that you want wants. A lot of you have no idea. And a lot of you use what you want in your perceptions and your needs to tell somebody that you want what they want. You know what I mean? Like, if I say I'm a high value man and I like a woman that's like, you know, we'll say 5'3", petite, brunette, lives this kind of lifestyle, does this, has this, does that. And I say, that's what I want. Okay. But a woman will say, oh, no, that's not what he wants. He wants me because I have a master's degree, a PhD. I'm getting my doctorate. You know, I'm a wonderful mother. You know, I'm this, I'm that. All of these things that I never mentioned that I wanted from you. And so a lot of you base, when you're looking for men, the kind of men that you want, base your selection of what you think men should be wanting from you, which is completely different than what men want from you. And I think that's kind of really what I wanted to talk about today, because I've learned so much in talking to different women and having conversations about this subject. And I see a lot of people have been enlightened, and it's wild. You know, it's really, really wild, because they're like, whoa, you know, I didn't even see it like that. And the thing is a lot of these relationship issues are really due to, they go back. You listen, I've listened to hours of YouTube videos. Okay. I've watched hours of YouTube videos. I've watched hours of interviews and phone calls of people calling in and women calling in. And you can tell their whole perspective is based from past broken relationships. They need to be in therapy. Past childhood traumas. They need to be in therapy. And they have these ridiculous expectations of men and the kind of men that they're looking for. And women wanting men to finance a lifestyle. Women wanting men to come in and take care of their kids and give them more than they deserve from that particular person. And so there's so much of it. And I think that's why we have a huge disconnect in dating today, because a lot of us are just walking around wanting these things. We feel we should get them because we deserve them. And that's not always the case. You know, many people have made bad decisions. I've made a series of bad decisions in my life. Serious. I can't even say that I haven't. But you got some people that make a lot of bad decisions. They continue to make bad decisions, and they're not learning from those bad decisions. And instead of trying to avoid making the bad decisions in the future, they just switch it up into something else to try to make up for prior bad decisions. And that is not going to go. It's not going to fly. It ain't going to work, y'all. It's not going to work. It's time to open your eyes and start learning what the kind of person you want, what they want, and what they like. And then assess yourself to see if you fit. You can't try to force a round peg into a square hole. And that's what a lot of you are doing. I mean, I get the one touchy subject that a lot of people are very touchy about. There's two, actually. Weight and children. And a lot of women will say, oh, well, you know, he should want me because I'm a good mother. First of all, if he doesn't plan on having your kids, if he doesn't plan on having kids with you, that means nothing to him. That means nothing to him. That holds no weight to somebody that doesn't want to have kids with you. Either because you got some already, or they got some already, or they just didn't want to have kids anyway. And most of the time, most men that already have some generally don't want any more, especially if they're over 30. And looks. And the looks thing is the one thing that people continuously try to fight and ignore that men are visual beings. And they come off and they try to be like, well, you gotta accept me the way I am and this and that and the other and blah, blah, blah. But actually, no, they don't. Just like you don't have to accept us the way we are. And so a lot of you get into your feelings because obviously the ones that are getting into their feelings, you already have you're feeling some type of way about yourself to begin with, as far as where you're at, either in your looks or your weight or something. So that is just like the nail in the coffin for you. But you got to remember, if you want a certain kind of man, you got to do certain kind of things. It's just the way that goes. Or you're going to continue to keep getting what you've been getting. So you can't expect to get something different if you're not going to change to get something different. And a lot of people really, really get that fucked up. And they end up in cycles and cycles of the same relationships, the same heartbreak, the same bullshit all the time. Because you don't want to do the work. Now, this applies for men too. I'm not gonna leave men out. So, don't be coming for me talking about, it's only women. But you're the majority of my audience, so that's who I'm talking to. But this can fit to men as well. But I see it a lot. I see it a lot with women. And we are asked to be patient, and we are asked to bear a lot of things and accept a lot of things for you ladies. A lot. You want us to be understanding of all of your different situations, your emotions, your feelings. You want us to come out the pockets. There's so many things that women request of men, and y'all don't really realize it. And I don't understand why, but you don't. You just don't realize it at all. And I think it's time that you start realizing it, and it might help you pick better men. You see, if I'm rolling around in a 2000 Honda Accord, all right, I'm probably going to date somebody that might also be rolling around in a maybe 2000, 2005 Honda Accord or Kia or Hyundai or something like that. Because that's at my level. But what I'm learning is that a lot of people are shooting above that, and you need to be where you're supposed to be. See, you can't be rolling around in 2000 Honda Accord and think you're going to pick somebody up in a 2021 Mercedes-Benz. That's not how this works. And that's the kind of dating that's going on out here. And what happens is, because some of you can't find that, you end up settling for some dusty that's got a 1985 Honda Accord. And then you want to use what you feel is your strength and your power to build this dusty up into whatever you need him to be. And of course he's going to disappoint you. And when he does, you're upset. And then you go through a series of these types of relationships. And then at some point you become jaded. Then you're on Instagram posting memes about dudes because you're upset because you keep meeting dusties and you keep getting pregnant by dusties and you keep allowing dusties to ruin your life. So then you get out there and you're like, there are no good men. Where are the good men? All the good men are married. No, they're not. Good men have standards and expectations. And when a man announces that he has standards and expectations, I have seen many women frown upon that heavily. And then they try to tell the men that they are picky and particular and they bougie and they think they're better than and everything. And the only reason they're doing that because they know they don't meet it, they don't meet the standard, and they feel some type of way about it. This happens all the time. I see it all the time on my IG comments when some dusty ass chick comes in there mad about some truth I just spit and everything, it's because it applies to her. And this is something, it's so prevalent, it's just wild. You need to try to meet someone at your level, or if you're going to shoot above your level, you need to build yourself to shoot above your level. But you can't keep fucking around with these dusty dudes, these no good dudes. Some of y'all have given your best gifts to some of the dustiest motherfuckers in life and let them ruin 5, 10, 15 years of your life. And now you're coming out at mid 30s, 30, 35, 40, and you wanting somebody to be with to, have money and get your Birkin bags and financial lifestyle, help you take care of these kids. And at the end of the day, you don't know what benefit that man gets from that. From his perspective, you see it from yours, but you only see it from yours because you're benefiting from it. And these are the things that I'm trying to really teach you ladies. It's not about, trying to tear y'all down or this and that and the other. It's about really kind of showing you the unrealistic expectations that you put on a man, especially later in life, especially at a time when men have more options over their 30s. There are a lot of people today over 30 that have a lot of baggage. And everybody's got baggage. I got baggage. We all got baggage. That's a given. But the thing is if you have a choice, if I'm a man and I have a choice and I'm looking at a 27-year-old young honey, no kids, minimal baggage, and then I got a 39-year-old, she's nice looking, but she got 4 kids, shit ton of baggage, shit ton of debt. Which one you think I'm going to take? And the thing is, there's a lot of that out here. So it's trying to open you. If I'm a quality guy, now Dusty's ain't gonna be able to pull that. Let's just get that out of the way now. Dusty's not gonna be able to pull that. But good, what I consider high value men who have their head wrapped on straight, determined, working towards a goal, on the come up. They're moving up. They're producing. They're not just saying they're doing stuff and just twirling in a circle. They're producing. Those are it. And those are the kind of men that women want. And there are a lot of women available to those kind of men. So you either got to decide that you either want to play in that game because it's a competition. And I remember the last IG Live, this girl was like, hey, it just sucks that it's so competitive. Well, it is, but it is. You know what I mean? It is. Because men can date down age-wise quite a bit. Because women want somebody older for maturity and security. So if you got yourself a good dude, he's mature, he's secure, he's doing his thing, he's looking as juicy to her as he is to you. But the question is what's going to make you more appealing to him than her? And this is where, ladies, you guys come in with things that don't matter. About, being a mother and having your degree, being an executive, what you do for a living, your accomplishments. We don't care about that. I mean, we want you to be self-sufficient. I mean, no man wants to come in and try to, come in and have to take care of you and all your children. You have to have some base level of self-sufficiency. We expect that, but at the end of the day, we want you to be our helper. That's what women were put here for. And so touting all of your accomplishments that fulfills you, that may fulfill you, but that's for us, it doesn't really do anything for us. How are you going to be my helper? How are you going to be next to me? I need you to be next to me, looking good for me. I need you to represent me. I might need you to facilitate business for me, do things for me. So you being super wrapped up in your career and everything, and that's great, and it's beautiful that, you know, a lot of you have accomplishments. You have nurses. I've dated nurses, lawyers, doctors. I've dated all kinds of different women, and it's great. But because they're so wrapped up into their career, they couldn't give to their partner what their partner needs. And doctors and lawyers are some of the biggest. Doctors, lawyers, and nurses are some of the hardest people to date. Some of the hardest people to date. Especially nurses, because they're givers by nature, and they have to give all day at work. And then when they get home, they're tapped out. And they got nothing to give you. And these are such important factors, y'all. It's hard to hear it. It really, really is. But it needs to be said, and it needs to be put into perspective that you have to realize what it is that you want out of life, and whether what you're asking for is reasonable. And sometimes some of these things that a lot of you ladies are asking for is unreasonable. We don't have to deal with certain things, as you don't have to deal with certain things with us either. But for some reason, we're expected to deal with certain things. Now, there are things I just won't deal with. Now, I've made exceptions in the past, and looking back, I probably should have never made those exceptions. And, you know, I'll make an exception here and there. It really depends on the person and, you know, whatever history I have with the person. But there's quite a few other things that I'm just not going to deal with. I just don't have time. It's just not in it for me. Because I got shit I need to do. I've got things I'm worried about, and there's just certain things I cannot deal with, and I won't, and I don't have to. And there's so much entitlement today of people thinking, well, somebody has to deal with your shit. No, they don't. No, they don't. And if you're not dealing with your own shit, then for surely nobody has to deal with your shit. You know what I'm saying? So, listen. I'm keeping this one short for y'all today, because this was just like But this is the hard truth of opening your eyes and looking at the big picture to understand is what you're asking for. Do you have the ability to give back to the type of person that you want in your life? Based on what they want, not what you want. You got to do that. You got to do that, ladies. I mean, you have to. Or you will continue to be disappointed, because you're going to be settling for dudes that you have always dated, have always been problematic, because the kind of man that you want, you have no idea how to get. And if it takes a little bit more time and effort to get them, you don't want to do it because you don't have time, or you feel like some dudes just accept you the way you are and this and that just because you're you. And that, it's kind of narcissistic. It's a little bit. Let's just say it for what it is. It's a little bit narcissistic. As I've said in it before. If you want to buy a house, the bank tells you what you need to buy a house. Then what do? You go out and you get everything you need to buy the house, right? Right. They approve you, you buy the house. Dating's the same way. Same way. The bank's not going to be like, well, okay, well, all right, you know, I see that you're short, you know, a few thousand on the down payment. That's okay. We'll let it slide, you know. We'll let it slide. We'll let you live in this one, you know. Even though you could go choose this house instead. That's a lot cheaper, a little bit more in your speed, in your lane. That's not how that works, y'all. And that's what we in dating keep trying to do to people. Because we don't want to accept that we need to do some work to get something better out of our life. But that is the hard truth, ladies. It just is. And some of my friends, I listen and we talk about the subject. Like I can see some of the feelings being hurt, in these type of conversations. I can see some of, people being like, wow, well, fuck, man, god damn, I really thought it was like this or it was like that. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think a lot of you already knew a lot of this stuff, but you really didn't care enough to try to put the work in to get it. Because let's be honest, a lot of people are lazy. Yeah. Lazy and full of excuses. And if you want what you want bad enough, you're going to do whatever you need to get it. So if you're not willing to put in the work to get the kind of man that you want, do you think you deserve that man? No. Same for dudes. There's a standard of women I can't date that I'm not in the same lane in. There's a kind of lady that I would love to be with, that's higher than me, but I'm not there. So I can't shoot for that. I have to stay in my lane of where I am right now. And right now I'm building. Now, once I'm built out and I'm producing the way I want to and I'm where I need to be, then I can shoot for, that upper echelon type of woman. But where I sit right now, I cannot do that. And I am aware of that. And I'm more cognizant in trying to date someone at my level before I date someone below it. Because I consistently have dated people below it. Same thing, ladies. It's the same thing. Y'all gotta do that too. So just listen, please. Let's get this right. Because we need to get this right, y'all. On God. But that's it for the show today. I kept it short. Man, this has been the first one in a long time that's been under 30 minutes from the show. Thank you for supporting your boy. If you follow me on Spotify and you are not following me on Instagram, go follow me at Deeper1, DEEP, the number 3, R1. Hit it on Twitter. Hit it on Facebook too. And also launching this week my merch, Drip Cypher Apparel. It's at dripcypher.com. That's DRIPCYPHER.com. Come support small business, support your boy. I really appreciate it. We got one more episode left of the Hard Truth series, and then we'll be back to the regular podcast. I just had to knock these out this last week because people was asking. The people were asking for the content, and I had to produce. So we producing today. Thanks again. This is the Deeper Love Podcast.